Welcome to Star Wars Action News, helping Star Wars collectors collect better.
That figure 16, as I mentioned, shipping 2 per case. We've got the Flametrooper, and he is really taking me back in time to like toys I used to collect as a kid. Maybe a listener can help jog my memory. I might have been a Smurfs figure where he was like a fireman and he had a backpack with a little hose, and I actually could fill that backpack with water and then like squirt it out the gun. And this is what this is reminding me of, because it came with this big like hollow plastic backpack you put on with the little hose that you have to plug into the gun. Now this one doesn't fill with water, sadly, but
you had weird toys.
Yeah, that doesn't sound familiar to me. I was thinking it kind of reminded me of an old G.I. Joe accessory, the flamethrower guy from the G.I. Joe line.
Yeah. But if you want to go from a drastic difference, we go from some well-lived-in, well-worn armor to the whitest of white plastics.
It is very white. And surprisingly, the whites are pretty much matching on this one, whereas usually there's a little bit of a variation just for the nature of doing whites and blacks. Although I want to say that the wash on this looks like it's dirty or all scratched up. Have you noticed that? Like it's on the legs, it's on his chest plate. I don't know if it's just ours, but he looks all scratchy.
Huh. I'm wondering if you guys got a weird one, because mine is just pristine white.
There's no wash. There are some scratches in the mold on ours, or we just got a scratched up one. Like on the thigh, where it doesn't have the black strap, looking at it in the light, it looks kind of like a cat clawed it, and this is brand new out of the package.
There's definitely some, relief marks that go down his thigh and some dots.
No. These are
scratches.
They're like at a 45-degree angle.
Here we go with the angles again. Yeah, you might just have a bad one there.
Huh.
I'm noticing a little bit of marbling in some of my plastic where, it's not solid white all the way through. There's like a little bit of an off-color white swirled in there, but it's not totally noticeable.
As far as the matching goes, the only thing that doesn't really match to my eye is the backpack looks slightly grayer than the figure.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep, same here.
And as far as the sculpt goes, I mean, this is a radical different trooper. He's got this big chest plate that the others don't have. He's got different leg armor. I mean, this I believe to be a completely new sculpt. It's not reuse with just a different helmet and accessory.
Yeah, no, I was looking for the parts that might have been shared from the other troopers, like possibly his feet or, his shin armor, or even where his wrist gauntlets are. And they all seem to be unique to this figure. There's just slight little differences that aren't on both versions.
And I really like that they went through the detail of giving him the little ribbing in the neck, too.
Oh, nice. And his little turtleneck?
Mm-hmm. But if those are the pluses, the minuses, I'm not sure how they could have done it a little better, but the paint on his helmet looks kind of faint, for lack of a better term. Like, it's not clearly defined. It barely shows up, It's almost like a weird kind of mushroom head with just a little bit of lines on it.
I'm not sure how to feel about that, because I'm not entirely sure how many of these lines are supposed to represent reliefs in the helmet and how many are supposed to be decoration. And I think it's a mixture of both. I guess I'm not familiar enough with the prop to know what this is supposed to be, but it does look a little sloppy. It almost looks hand done in places.
And it's probably the prop, but the eye slit is so small, and then when you shrink that down to a toy size, it becomes almost like a weird pencil line.
In ours, it looks like they ran out of paint on their brush and just never finished it in some spots.
But I'm looking at like Hasbro's official photos, and they look about the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's not incredibly terrible on mine. Where it gets a little weird is around the back, the lines start to converge closer to one another in a non-symmetric way, which is a little off-putting. But those are some very fine lines, and I don't know how they would be able to do it any better.
Yeah. I also have a little trouble getting the gun in his hand. I have to keep undoing the hose, putting it in his hand, clicking the hose back in there, and if it falls out, I'm just not able to make this hose look good, I suppose.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've had this figure on display for a while now, and his hose hangs naturally now, because it's a softer, more malleable plastic, almost a rubbery type of feel. So, with yours being fresh out, it might take a little while. But yeah, this one gave me a little bit of trepidation when we were going to get it out to review, because I was like, dang it took me like 20 minutes to get that gun in his hand properly.
I gave up. It fell out while I was holding it, and I'm like, just screw it. He can lay it on the ground next to him.
Looks like I have a project for this weekend. I'll be reposing my Flametrooper.
It's going to take you all weekend also.
A little problematic. I mean, the gun looks good. I think the gun has more detail on him than necessarily the trooper, with the little red dots and the little silver dots around the stock, if I'm using that term correctly.
Yeah, I believe so. I'm not a weapons expert by any means, but I follow what you're saying as far as the detail they put in there. That's impressive. And they put little red dots on his tank as well. Where I'm a little concerned with this figure, but I don't know how you fix it, is because he's such a heavily armored trooper. Like, even the articulation he has seems to be somewhat limited by his own armor.
Yeah, I was just trying to get that iconic pose of the Flametrooper on Jakku when he was burning down the village, and you just can't do it. I'm not able to get a two-handed firing pose here, and even the Hasbro official photos, he's just like single-handedly like, I'm just gonna spray fire everywhere.
It's possible. I'll take some pictures with him holding his gun with both hands, but
I can get him in both hands, but it doesn't look like a good, like, I'm firing in front of me.
Yeah, he's firing off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, yeah, he's got double hinged knees that I just can't seem to get to bend all the way back.
Oh, mine go, I mean, I can't get his ankles to touch his thighs, but
Why would you need that?
I definitely get him in like a downward dog position.
All right.
Overall, I'm just kind of middling on this figure. He's not a bad figure by any means, but if I wasn't a completist, because of the lack of posability, the trooper's lack of importance in the film, I mean, he had a couple cool scenes, but he's not, like, when I think of The Force Awakens, the Flametrooper isn't the first thing to come to mind.
Right. And that's what's kind of cool about the fact that he's out there. It's like, this is a trooper where if they decided to put him out there, they could have taken a lot of shortcuts to get him out there, but it seems to be an all new sculpt. And like you said, for such a minor character, it's cool that they did it.
Thanks for watching this video. You can see full episodes of Star Wars Action News with more collecting news and reviews at swactionnews.com. We also have thousands of toy and collectible photos in our photo gallery. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. May the pegs be stocked and the Force be with you.